unfortunately turned 7 on Sunday, so I wasn't able to go because they're not going to understand if their daddy isn't at their birthday. But to answer your question, Susan Bernhardt, which was the creator of Misbehave, she actually does a lot of publicity for me, and she was the one that originally helped me sell my album and get it on iTunes. And my ex-manager had set me up with her, so we already had a relationship. And she and her daughter Jillian basically approached me and said, "You got some free time? You want to dabble in this?" And I had heard through the grapevine that web shows are for real. They're coming up, and I like to be involved in upcoming projects. I like to be involved in things that are new and have a novelty to them. And so that's basically how I was born. I said, "Sure, give me a call time. Where are we going?"
And it's funny, too, because Marcus, the one scene I remember clearly, is all these girls running up to you when you walked into that one scene. So you're basically playing a rock star, God-type adoration from all these women. So that's playing yourself then, right?
Right. Yeah, sure. That's exactly how my life is. No, there wasn't a tough sell. Susan's like, "Okay, Eric, I don't know if you'll be into this, but you're basically playing Brad Pitt. You're a movie star, and you're adored by millions." I'm okay with that. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Now, you mentioned Jillian Clare, and she played Abby Devereaux at one time, and Darren Brooks was in it, who played Max Brady. You do your homework, too, Pam. Well, I watch it.
Yeah.
I watch Misbehave, so I know. I think Susan has a thing for Days people. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we need an intervention here. Well, I'm biased as well, so I promote anybody who has a Days of Our Lives addiction in any form whatsoever.
Yeah, I know. Those are good choices, don't get me wrong. I was just kidding about that. I mean, I think it's such a sweet web series. It's geared more towards the teenagers, I believe. But even as an adult, I enjoyed watching it.
Web series 90210, basically.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, Sabina, you wanted to ask something. I took over here.
Yeah, what's up, Sabina? Come on, don't be shy.
Oh, totally.
Because if you don't start asking me questions, I'm going to start asking you personal questions. It's just going to get weird.
Okay. No, we can wait till the event for that, maybe.
Nah, let's do it over the public airwaves instead. That's more fun.
I think so, too. Go ahead.
I wanted to know, what Days actor would you love to work with that you have not worked with yet?
I was asked this question about a year ago, and at the time I said Joe Mascolo, because I hadn't gotten a chance to swap with Stefano yet, but now I have. Mm-hmm. So Brady, those awkward scenes in the mansion with him, those were fun to play.
Those were awesome.
Joe was like, "Now what is your name again?"
Yeah.
I'm Brady. "Oh, John's son. Yeah, okay. I don't like you, right?"
That is a spot on.
Yeah, like we're pretty ticked off at each other. Yeah, so let's just go with that. I'm totally kidding. He's a great guy, but who haven't I worked with? I don't know. Brady is one of those mutts he's like the mutt of Salem, He's got all these stepsisters and step-parents. He's a Kyriakis. He's a Black, but he's also a Demira.
Right.
So I think I've crossed paths with everyone. I'll tell you who's actually making some waves right now. We just Days just hired Jen Lilly.
Yeah, I just heard that today.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I caught some of her on the monitor the other day. I can't elaborate who she's playing or what she's doing, but she's a little fire. She's actually very fun to watch, and I found myself wanting to swap lines with her. So, and I believe Brady and she have some common elements. That's all I can say about that. But
yeah, we heard she's related to somebody on the canvas, but that's all we know. Yeah, but it's early in the ball game. But right now, just because it was fresh in my mind, I would say her right now. Yeah, I watched her on General Hospital when she took over for the role of Maxie, and she's a really good actress. So I'm glad that she's going to be on Days.
those were not small shoes to fill for that time period, and I thought she did a great job too.
She did a wonderful job.
I should tell her that. I haven't told her that yet. I'm going to tell her that tomorrow in makeup.
Please do.
Because when you like someone, you should tell them, you know?
Yeah, and you can tell her that we all love her and we're all proud of her and happy that she's on days.
No, you're going to have to do that yourself, but I'll just tell her how I feel.
Oh. Well, we do via Twitter, but it'd be nice.
I'll tell her. Of course I will, of course.
Just tell her to check her Twitter account every so often, and she'll see.
Right, okay. Check your Twitter, Jen. What's wrong with you? I hardly know the girl. You're going to get me in a fight already.
Right?
Why don't you check your Twitter, Lily? What's wrong with you?
And she'll go up to the director and say, and that's one I don't want to work with.
She'll go on some show and be like, what's with that Eric-Martsolf jerk off? Wow, that guy is just weird. Yeah, that's okay. She'd probably be right on the money.
She's good with her Twitter.
Yeah.
So I know you're doing a lot of good soaps these days and stuff, but is there any movie dream role that you can think of that you would love, or a genre of movies you'd like to work in?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I was asked this question when I did. Did you catch any of the Acme comedy shows that I did?
No, I keep missing these. I keep missing those. I need to go try to find them.
That's okay. That's okay. I didn't think. But no, it's more populated than that. We actually did this thing called the Hollywood Dream Role, wherein which you get to pick a genre that you would have loved to have starred in, and the cast of Acme actually does an improvisational show or / movie around you for like 45 minutes. It's crazy. It's totally off the cuff. And it starts out with the director coming up to you saying, Eric-Martsolf, you've done soaps. What would be your dream role or the dream genre? And I said, romantic comedy.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be funny. I want to make some money being funny. Because I've always been a clown. I won class clown in high school. And I've never gotten the chance to be, anything. Better phrase, the leading man thing, because Hollywood does its pigeonholing. It decides what you are and who you are based upon how you look, and if it doesn't fit into that funny mold, you rarely get a chance to have a job in which you can show those chops, and that's what I would love to do.
Well, we would definitely watch you in something like that, because that's my favorite genre is romantic comedy.
Unfortunately, Brady Black just doesn't have much to smile about usually.
Yeah.
My own mother actually said to me the other day, she was like, Eric, I'm watching the show. I love it. Can you smile some more? Yeah. You should smile. And I'm like, Mom, what the heck am I supposed to smile about?
Yeah.
I mean, I do once in a while with Kristen, but as soon as I'm ready to smile, she does something mischievous, and I find myself, ooh, wait, what? What you doing?
Right. Then the seriousness comes back in.
It's hard to smile around manipulative women,
For sure. So I was curious if you have any charities you support, and which charity is closest to your heart?
Well, there's so many, but coincidentally, and I don't know if you're aware of, I have a new little venture that if I may mention, my wife actually, we opened up a kids gym recently.
Yes, we were going to ask you about that, so go ahead, please.
Sorry, I'll just go right into it then. It's a kids gym. It caters to kids with special needs, but it's also a gym for all kids. I sound like a commercial right now. But it came about basically, there was one of these gyms. It's called We Rock the Spectrum. And at first I didn't even know what that meant. Why is the gym called We Rock the Spectrum? And this woman who had this gym in Tarzana basically said, well, we cater to kids that are on the spectrum, that are off the spectrum, but we make sure they have fun no matter what. So my wife and I we couldn't get this thing off our mind, and it just kind of called to us, and we're like, you know what, let's do this. I'd never opened up a business of any kind, and this seemed like something we were passionate about. So now we have one in Studio City. It's We Rock the Spectrum, StudioCity.com. You can check it out. But it's been a lot of fun, and our boys love it, and Lisa's down there all the time. And that's it's basically for kids with autism. It's wonderful because there are so many parents out there who have kids that have autism who don't feel comfortable taking their kids to a regular kids gym because there's usually so much stimuli with the colors and the loud music and the kids end up getting overstimulated. Mm-hmm. And we noticed when we were taking our kids to this particular gym, dinner was a little quieter. The kids were homework a little better. They were a little more focused because spa for kids. I mean, it's fun, but there's also we have the multitude of these swings that these kids get on. They just sort of chill out on these swings, and so when the parents pick them up, they're just level. As opposed
and the parents adore you.
Yeah, so it was just a beautiful thing that my wife and I realized that, this is really nice. I like this. So we got our own, and that's what we're doing right now. So autism awareness which is what we're doing in Atlanta. Coincidentally, I had this appearance booked in Atlanta before I even got into this gym venture. So it just seems to be something that's calling my name, so I find myself in it and meeting the families of these kids. And I knew that I knew two things in this world, or actually three things: doing soap operas, being with kids, and fitness. So it just seemed to make sense. A kids gym. Yeah. Do it. So I did.
That's fantastic.
It really is. I have my youngest son has pervasive developmental disorder, which is a spectrum of autism, and you know that, right? Yeah, before he was, when he was little. He's 16 now, so it's not going to do him any good. But that's wonderful that you're doing it for the kids that can use it now.
Thank you. Well, as far as him not using it now, I'm up in years, and I go in there all the time and act like a 4-year-old. So
yeah,
my wife has to drag me out of the trampoline.
Yeah.
So.
I just don't see my 16-year-old doing that, but maybe when he's
I actually
your
learned
age.
my lines the other day on one of the swings. I'm sitting there in the swings learning my lines, and this kid's like, "Is he going to get off soon?" I'm like, "Oh."
Is it my turn yet?
Yeah. It's like, dude, come on. You've been on for 45 minutes. Give a kid a chance. No. What are you going to do?
Well, tell your wife thank you, too, for starting that. I really, really appreciate it, and I know so many of the parents and the children these days will love it.
Well, it's hard to hear you say thank. I feel like the thanks, there's really no need to thank. It's such a selfish thing itself. We get so much. We have a story every day. We come back with a story about a kid that said something or a kid off for a couple hours and go do something for herself. And, she's in tears because she's never been able to have any time for herself because her kid with her needs and the needs that the kid has, it just doesn't lend itself to free time. And finally she's like, I don't know what to do with I can go get my nails done. Go get a massage. Go have lunch. Go, so it's really gratifying. It's gratifying.
It's even like that for parents when their first child or their only child goes to school full time, and you are so lost. You honestly do not know what to do. You look forward to that day, but once it gets here, you're like, okay, now what do I do?
Exactly. I know. You're like, oh God. Okay, I got to be the entertainment coordinator here. I don't know what to do.
You look at the clock thinking, okay, I have 4 hours now. I have to wait, and then I have to pick him up at the bus stop. But what do I do? Yeah, that's funny. I know exactly how that feels.
I had a father come in the other day. He was like, I can drop my kid off here for 3 hours? I'm like, yeah, go ahead, dude. Go golf or something. And he lit up like a Christmas tree. He's like, oh great. He left. Literally, ran out like a school kid. Like, I'm out in the world. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. That's funny. Well, Michelle from our chat room wants to know